in April. Let's bring in Sean Van Diver, founder and president of AfghanEvac, a nonprofit agency that has worked on President Biden's Operation Allies Welcome initiative. And first of all, thank you for joining us, Sean, on this holiday. You heard the reporting coming from Laura. This is something that you have also been reporting at AfghanEvac. Take us up to date. What does this mean for us trying to answer the question, why? One side of the narrative I was discussing earlier with David Rode was that everything seems to be lining up in terms of him coming to America and the processes that he went through.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on today, and happy Thanksgiving. Look, number one, our heart goes out to those National Guardsmen and their families. We wish them a speedy recovery. Nobody should ever have to endure this gun violence that's endemic in our American society. And look, the truth is that this man alone is responsible for his crime. His actions do not represent the Afghan community or Afghan wartime allies or anybody who stood with us for 20 years. In fact, the FBI's own watchdog confirmed that the vetting systems worked under Kash Patel in June of 2025. He said there were no systemic failures. So we don't necessarily know what failed yet, but we do know that there are law enforcement measures in place to identify lone wolves. And that worked before the last election when the man in Oklahoma City was identified and taken out. Every community has people that mean to do harm, not Afghans, not just Americans, but all sorts of people try to do these lone wolf attacks. President Trump, through DOJ, wiped away all of the mechanisms meant to protect our American society from that. So I would encourage DHS, the FBI, law enforcement around this country to reallocate resources away from stunts at Home Depot and picking up grandmas at immigration court to back to the places that keep our country safe.
Sean, help us understand the journey of this suspect and others, given you represent AfghanEvac. When Afghans do come, and the families that you have helped come to the United States, give us a sense of what that journey is like so that we understand why this may have happened, or at least one part of why this happened today.
Sure. I don't think we can ascribe part of the journey to why this happened, but what I will tell you, at the beginning you said that we helped with Operation Allies Welcome. We didn't help the Biden administration with that. We helped Afghans with that. We didn't link up with the government until much later, and we demanded the safest, most secure immigration pathway in our history called Enduring Welcome. And it takes years. These folks have to either apply as an SIV or be referred in as a refugee. And they have to be thoroughly vetted. Everybody who comes here is thoroughly vetted. This gentleman came through Operation Allies Welcome, went through the airport in Kabul, arrived as a parolee on temporary status. And he, for whatever reason, he got chief of mission approval, which means he went through vetting then. But then he also applied for and received asylum from the Trump administration, which means he was vetted then as well. The CIA, the intelligence community, the larger intelligence community, law enforcement, all vetted this guy. So we're not certain that that has anything to do with it. What we think is that he was just a deranged man, and the entire Afghan community shouldn't suffer for that. But look, these folks are facing really hard times, right? They're hiding in Kabul, they're hiding all over Afghanistan, trying to come here because of the promises that our diplomats and service members made to them. And the Trump administration shut it all down on day one. There are hundreds of thousands of folks who served with us who are waiting to come here, including thousands of active duty, family of active duty military. And the Trump administration has been looking for an excuse to shut it down. And I'm really worried that they just got that excuse.
You've underlined here that this suspect does not at all represent all that you have helped in their journeys to the United States very clearly. How have they reacted when you've spoken to them, those families, those individuals that you've helped to this situation? What have they been telling you?
Look, it's awful. And you're right. Scapegoating Afghan families is not national security. This is political theater. It only helps our adversaries. And these folks are victims of a wishful narrative from the administration where they want to throw these folks out. They're scared. They've been taking hit after hit after hit. Every week it's something different. They're shutting down refugees. They're shutting down asylum. They're shutting down adjudications to green cards here. And the last thing that was running was SIV, and now we're really worried about that. These folks are scared. They feel betrayed, but they still believe in the idea of America. And that's because of all across American society, the people that have supported them, and they need us now more than ever, and we need the American public now more than ever. We need folks to go to AfghanEvac.org/donate, help us continue this work. We're not going to shy away from this fight, no matter how much Laura Loomer tries to attack us, no matter how much these folks try to sow hate and discontent in our communities. These folks earned our support, and we're going to keep standing by them, and we need your help to do it.